but the Premier League full fixture of the season 2023-2024 is out, and most of you have already gone ahead obviously get to know who you're going to be playing in the opening game, but we're here to bring you the latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned. Smash like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And Arsenal fans are really delighted that they know on the 17th of August, that's when they'll be obviously kickstarting off their fixture, and it's really gonna be a little bit of a tricky one, but we are gonna be breaking it down and see what your thoughts are about this fixture. Let's see close to 300 likes marking this video as we obviously get into this and know how Arsenal will go onto this and its other counterparts that they'll be facing into those games. It's a Tuesday, it's the 18th of June, highly anticipated day. You all know that because we've always been here telling you that 18th of June, that's when the Premier League fixture is gonna be out, and it is gonna have to come out at a very good moment that now Arsenal can know whether they should go hard in the market or not, because the fixture is already out. So let's get into this as we thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims. Barakallahu fikum, and may the living to God bless you and bless you abundantly. Right? So let's obviously see who Arsenal is opening with. Arsenal is opening up with Wolverhampton Wanderers on the 17th of August. That is it. The opening fixture of Arsenal is going to be happening on the 17th of August, and they're going to be hosting Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolverhampton Wanderers is one of those teams that are going to have to be a little bit of they're a team that Arsenal's going to have to find easy to beat in the recent past, and I think it won't be a hard game, though the opening game for a season is always hard. You saw it when Arsenal opened up with Nottingham Forest in the recently concluded season at Emirates, where the game ended 2-1. So Wolverhampton Wanderers are really going to be working hard, obviously coming through at Emirates, but I think Arsenal really have a huge edge over them to win this beautiful game of football. Then Aston Villa. Arsenal is really having a very hard away fixture, right? When you look at their first away game, they're going to be playing away at Aston Villa. And remember, when Arsenal played at Aston Villa the previous season, Arsenal was beaten by 1-0. You understand? So they're going to be playing away at Aston Villa, you know? And after Aston Villa, they'll be hosting Brighton at the Emirates. That is on the 31st of August, you know? After Brighton, they'll obviously be playing away, you know, away at Tottenham Hotspur on the 14th of September, right? I think there is an international break in there for all the Champions League. Then Man City, again, 21st. After playing Tottenham Hotspur away, Arsenal will be having to play Man City away from home. You understand? Then after that, Arsenal will host Leicester City on the 28th of September. Then 5th of October, Arsenal will host Southampton, two newly promoted sides in the Premier League. Arsenal will host them on 2 consecutive weeks or weekends. Bournemouth versus Arsenal. That means on the 19th of October, Arsenal will be playing away from home at Bournemouth. Then on the 26th of October, Arsenal will go ahead to host Liverpool at the Emirates. Then on the 2nd of November 2024, Arsenal will play away at Newcastle. After playing away at Newcastle, 9th of November, Arsenal will be hosted by Chelsea. After Arsenal getting hosted by Chelsea on the 9th of October, 23rd of November, Arsenal will host Nottingham Forest. 30th of November, Arsenal will play away at West Ham. 3rd of December, mark the date, that's when Arsenal hosts Man United. You know, the previously concluded season, Arsenal was the first team to host Man United. And now again, 3rd December is going to be the day Arsenal will be hosting Man United at the Emirates, right? Then Fulham will host Arsenal on the 7th, 4 days later, at the Craven Cottage. Then Arsenal on the 14th of December, they'll be hosting Everton at the Emirates. Then Crystal Palace will be hosting Arsenal on the 21st of December. 26th of December, Arsenal will be hosting Ipswich Town, newly promoted side. You get? So that's what Arsenal will be doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the game of Ipswich will be the 18th game of the season, and then Arsenal will close off the first half of the season by playing away at Brentford, a side that hasn't gonna hate to be easy for the club of Arsenal, especially when Arsenal really pays them a visit. Arsenal fans can really come in through and really stand in surety for me for that, because the side is always dangerous and deadly. You know that very well. So now we'll go to, I think we'll rest for some days, 29th December. That means there is 30th, 31st, 1st. There will be FA Cup, Now, the Premier League will resume 4th January. Arsenal will be playing away at Brighton. Then, 14th January, Arsenal will be hosting Tottenham Hotspur at the Emirates. 18th January, Arsenal will be hosting Aston Villa at the Emirates. 25th January, Arsenal will be hosted by Wolverhampton Wanderers at the Molineux. 1st February, Arsenal will obviously host Man City. And I think this is really better that Arsenal plays this game of Man City early enough and really get them done. That's really great. And there is no winter break this time round. So Arsenal fans, there is no going to Dubai. So we don't know where this time round Arsenal is going to be going. Then 15th February, Leicester City will be hosting Arsenal. 22nd February, Arsenal will be hosting West Ham. 25th February, Arsenal will be hosted by Nottingham Forest. And 8th March, another date to mark, that's when Man United will host Arsenal at the Old Trafford. Arsenal, on the 15th of March, they'll host Chelsea at the Emirates. Then 1st April, which happens to be a Fool's Day, Arsenal will host Fulham at the Emirates. Then Everton versus Arsenal. Everton versus Arsenal, 5th April 2025. Then Arsenal will host Brentford at the Emirates, 12th April, in there for you. Ipswich will host Arsenal the 19th of April, and on the 26th of April, Arsenal will host Crystal Palace. Then Arsenal will have to play against Bournemouth on the 3rd of May, and Arsenal will be the hosts. Then Liverpool will entertain Arsenal at the Anfield on the 10th of May 2025. Then 18th May, Arsenal will host Newcastle, and Arsenal will sum up the season away from home on the 25th of May. Remember, last season, Arsenal went ahead to obviously play the last game at Emirates. And even the season of 2022-2023, Arsenal played its last game at the Emirates. This time around, they're going to be playing away at home. Now, let's look through the fixtures of us. Let's look at the top 10 fixtures of Arsenal, because these top 10 fixtures set the pace. They set the pace for any team in there for you, and the top 10 games really give you the shape of how the team is going to be looking. Because if a team does not implode like how Spurs did after its very brilliant start of the season, then a lot will come to pass. Now, the first 10 games are Arsenal versus Wolves, Aston Villa versus Arsenal, Arsenal versus Brighton, Tottenham Hotspur versus Arsenal, Man City versus Arsenal, Arsenal versus Leicester City, Arsenal versus Southampton, Bournemouth versus Arsenal, Arsenal versus Liverpool, Newcastle versus Arsenal. So, Arsenal is really having what we call a very, very tricky opening 10 games, because At home, all is okay because at home, Arsenal is going to be hosting Wolves, Brighton, Leicester City, Southampton, and Liverpool. 5 games are going to be hosted by Arsenal at home. You get? And I think the hardest is going to be Liverpool. But Liverpool, having a new manager, Arne Slot, who is going to be a novice into the Premier League, you cannot come out and really believe that it's really going to be a hard job for Arsenal to execute. I believe Arsenal really going to be having a very good moment to execute such a deal, or such a business. But for now, let's look at the games away from home. I think this is the hardest fixture away from home that I've gonna hate to see Arsenal have. Away from home after hosting Wolverhampton Wanderers, Arsenal is gonna be playing away at Aston Villa. We don't know how Aston Villa is gonna be looking this season or next season, but I tell you, I don't see them putting the foot off the pedal. If they lose Douglas Luiz, they've already gonna hate to get in Ross Barkley. One, you understand? Then they're getting in McKennie, Winston McKennie, that American guy who plays for Juventus, who came in and played for Leeds on loan and has been playing for Juventus. He plays for USA, and for those that are going to be watching the Copa America, look at that guy, meaning that he's adding in 2 more midfielders. He's losing one, but is going to have to add in 2 more midfielders into his team. That is Unai Emery, and they're really going to represent to the fullest. Let's all admit. Now, after that, Arsenal play away at Tottenham Hotspur. That is their second away fixture. Hard game. It's a North London derby. I expect the manager of Tottenham Hotspur to have gone ahead to organize his team. And with the way he started, we hope he goes with the same start. It's not going to be an easy game. But how will Arsenal behave? Because when they played, Arsenal went ahead to beat Spurs by 3-0. By 3 goals. They led by 3-0, and then Spurs came and pulled 2 back to an extent that they even went ahead to obviously make it hard for Arsenal. And even Mikel Arteta came out in the post-match press conference and said that the game ended in a nervy state, and they were like praying to God, when is the final whistle really getting blown? So that is the side of Arsenal hosting Tottenham Hotspur, and it's not gonna be an easy tie. Not anywhere near easy tie, right? That is Arsenal for you. Then the third away game is gonna be against Man City. Away from home, Arsenal went ahead and drew with Man City 0-0. And it's not going to be an easy game. We all know how hard Man City is and how they make their stuff easy to really happen. So I 100% believe it's not going to be an easy game, but it will depend on how Arsenal approaching, especially Mikel Arteta, whether he was going to obviously have the braveness to obviously play an open game to really stop Pep Guardiola. But it looks like Arteta is going to obviously find a formula or a blueprint to really suppress Mikel Arteta. That is it, because the blueprint is already there, and it shows that for the 4 times that Arsenal have gone ahead to play Man City the previous season of 2023-2024, Arsenal has gone ahead to beat Man City. I think they forced themselves 3 times, right? Arsenal has won 2 and drawn 1. Community Shield, Arsenal won. Premier League at Emirates, Arsenal won, and away from home they drew 0-0. And I think getting a draw at Man City is not bad, provided you beat them at your home. But Arteta this time around might obviously go in wanting what we call a win. So we wait and see how that is really going to be panning out into the ilk. But we all know that it's not going to be an easy tie into the mix. So we are here to obviously let you know that it's not going to be an easy tie in there for you, but Arsenal has all what it takes to do the needful. Now, Arsenal will play away at Bournemouth. That is their 4th away fixture. I think they'll make it easy. They'll make it an easy tie, and they'll obviously end up really winning that. Then Newcastle is another side that Arsenal is going to be hosting Arsenal on the 2nd of November. Now, these top 10 fixtures, when I look at them, let me make my predictions and see. Arsenal versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. I give Arsenal a win. By the way, all the 5 games that Arsenal is going to be hosting at home, I give them a win. For Aston Villa, I'm giving a draw, right? For Spurs, I'm giving Arsenal a win. Those are 4 points away from home. For Man City, it's a draw. Those are 5 points away from home. For Bournemouth, it's a win. Those are 8 away from home. And for Newcastle, I'm giving Arsenal a win. Those are 11 points. So I anticipate that out of the 30 points, or the 30 possible points out of the first 10 games, I think Arsenal will collect 26 points. The minimum collect for me will be like 23. But I believe Arsenal can really collect more and more and more. But there is a blessing in disguise in everything. And with Arsenal having Man City, Aston Villa, Tottenham Hotspur, Liverpool and Newcastle in its first 10 games, that to me is a boost. Why? Arsenal are really going to cruise all the way, to end the first half of the season when they are left with only 2 teams to play that are really big. That is Chelsea and Man United. You get? But after these 10 games, Arsenal will gain momentum. And I tell you, if Arsenal happens to get results from these teams that are really very positive, then they'll set a pace that no one will even challenge. They'll set a very huge pace that no one will even challenge, because they'll come in through and really put in a required shift, and every time everybody will be like, all right, Arsenal went ahead to beat so and so, and after beating such and such a team, Arsenal is really untouchable. That is it. I'm having Mokos Assad. It's challenging. Yeah, the first 10 games of Arsenal are really very challenging. And you can really look through them and really understand that it's not always an easy tie. Now, let's go to the last 10 games, because they are very important. Arsenal has gone ahead to lose trophies in its last 10 games. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, these are the last 10 games of Arsenal. They're hosting Chelsea. Then they're hosting Fulham. They're playing out Everton. They're hosting Brentford. They're playing out Ipswich Town. They host Crystal Palace. Arsenal will have to obviously host Bournemouth. Then Liverpool host Arsenal. Arsenal will host Newcastle and Southampton. Now, when you look at the fixtures they really went ahead to play, the last 10 fixtures of the season, Arsenal found themselves facing some of the hardest teams. Man United was into the mix. Let me check here and see very well, because I remember there was Tottenham Hotspur, the last 10 fixtures of Arsenal. There was Man United, right? They had to play Tottenham Hotspur, they had to play Chelsea, and they had to play Aston Villa. You understand? They had 1, 2, 3, 4 big teams to face in the last 10 fixtures. But this time round, this fixture is really very favorable for Arsenal, as they're only having Chelsea and Liverpool as the 2 big teams to face, meaning that they can really get a run into this fixture. Newcastle, for me, it's not all that big. They're not going to be spending huge in the summer. For them to spend big, they need to obviously let other players leave. And if at all you are into that concern, that means you are weakening a little bit as a side of Newcastle. So, I believe Arsenal can collect some good points, and the fixture is really very favorable for Arsenal, because when you get in those tough fixtures at the start of the season, they'll obviously help you and do the needful. Now, I wait for the side of Mikel Arteta to see what he says about the fixture and see how he's really going to work upon this. And I know it's really going to awaken the transfer of Arsenal to not to it that all goes in as well. Last season or last summer, we saw to it that Arsenal really went ahead to put in a very huge shift, but they've gone ahead to take long to obviously get their first game out of the way. We all know that Man City are gonna be the competitors for the side of Man City are really going to be the competitors for Arsenal. You know, they're going to compete with Arsenal. And who are they starting with in the Premier League? Man City are starting with Chelsea away from home. And then Man City will host Ipswich. Then later they play West Ham away from home. Man City will host Brentford 14th September. 21st September, Man City will host Arsenal. Then 28th September, Newcastle will host Man City. Then 5th October, Man City will host Fulham. 19th October, Man City will host, Wolverhampton Wanderers will host Arsenal. Then 26th October, Man City will host Southampton. And 2nd November, Man City will be hosted by Bournemouth. Now, when you look at the first 10 games of Man City as compared to those of Arsenal, Man City is having only 2 big teams to play, that is Chelsea and Arsenal. And I think it plays in the advantage of Arsenal that they would have gone ahead to play Aston Villa, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. You get? And Man City will have only played Arsenal and Chelsea, meaning that they'll be left with Liverpool, Aston Villa, and Tottenham Hotspur. You understand? So I think it is really good for the side of Arsenal to face those teams. And let's see the last 10 fixtures for the side of Man City, right? Man City, in their last 10 fixtures, they have Brighton at home, they have Leicester City at home, they have Manchester United at Old Trafford, they have Crystal Palace at Etihad, they have Everton at the Goodson's Park, they have Aston Villa at Etihad, they have Wolverhampton Wanderers at Etihad, they have Southampton at the St. Mary's Stadium, they have Bournemouth, I think that is the Vitality Stadium, and they have they have Bournemouth at Etihad, and they have Fulham at the Craven Cottage. In the last 10 games, they have to play Manchester United, Aston Villa. Those are the only big teams I'm really seeing into this that they are going to be facing. And 2, even their last 10 games are really favorable for the side of Man City, right? So those are the fixtures and how everything is really going to be panning out, but they're really very, very giving and really looking great. And now I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below, like how Mokosa's gonna hit to say, Senyonga, I think they'll get 27 out of 30 points at the beginning. Yeah, but I think for me they might drop like 4. They might drop between 4 to 8 points, but it depends on how Arsenal is going to act into the summer transfer window, how they are going to reinforce. If Arsenal reinforces very well, they might even win all of their top 10 games, all of their 10 games. You saw the side of Tottenham Hotspur. They started the season almost winning their 10 games. You understand? So if Arsenal recruits well, then they'll all have to really win all those games. Then we are having Mokosa David. Mr. Aradi, which players can we add to the squad to be unstoppable? I've already told you that Arsenal need a midfielder like Bruno Guimaraes, right? Guimaraes, Fofana, Zubimendi. One of those is needed. Then a right attacking midfielder, either a Williams, a Pedro Neto, and Olise into the mix, you know? But a player who is really left-footed that coming through and obviously put in a required shift into that side of Arsenal is really needed. Arsenal need a centre forward. I think you should get out. You should get this guy out of the way. You should get Nketiah out of the way, and Arsenal gets in another striker to compete with Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz. And you never know, maybe Mikel Arteta might be looking at Kai Havertz as he is out right number 9, and he might say, Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz will lead my line, and I'm going to strengthen my midfield. That is also possible. But Arsenal are really looking in or very much linked to very many number 9s. And I think my next update onto this channel will be about the number 9s. Sorry about that. My next update. My next update will be about Arsenal and how is really gonna be really acting into the summer transfer window, into the mix. So to be unstoppable, I think Arsenal needs like 4 players. 4. If they get them in, I think the rest will be history. Then I'm having Prince Okechukwu. Thanks, brother, for the update. Watching from Tel Aviv. That is Israel. Thank you for watching in from Tel Aviv. Then this is our time for the EPL, irrespective of our tough start. Yeah, the tough start really sets a very good competitive ground for the club of Arsenal, such that you can gain your momentum. If Arsenal can get like 20, 22, 23 points, 24 out of that first 10 games, I tell you, they'll play the rest of the games, like the remaining 9, to make it the half of the season, when they're really having high hopes of really gathering more and more and more points, and really gathering what you call the required momentum. So you can as well become a member to this YouTube channel. You can see the join button down that video onto the left. It's the left right corner, right? Left right corner. That's where the word join is. Smash it and the rest will be history. And you can as well support us. Even if you're in this live, you can as well buy a super chat and obviously support us in the due course of what we are doing right about now onto this channel known as the onto the Rokani Media Football. So I think that's what I had for you in here for you. But those are the fixtures for Arsenal. I've gone ahead to bring you everything. But remember, it's Manchester United opening up the Premier League season with the 16th Friday night football at Old Trafford as United hosts the side of Fulham in there for you. And then after, Arsenal will come next day to play, and we see how things are really going to be panning out into the system. But Mikel Arteta is going to be returning at the Sobha Reality Training Center very, very soon. Today is 18th. A week from now, he's going to be returning to plan for the preseason training with the players of Arsenal and see how far they can go into the next season. Players he's expected to start with are Benjamin White. There is a Thomas Partey. There is Fabio Vieira, Emily Smith-Rowe, Eddie Nketiah, Nuno Tavares. Lokonga is returning. You can talk about Gabriel Jesus because he never went to play for the national team, and very many others, including the academy graduates that Arsenal have gonna hit obviously showcase. And we'll wait to see how that will obviously pan out, because here onto this channel, it's obviously us covering hugely Arsenal and other teams into the mix. From here, I'm gonna be live onto the United Matters channel. You can as well find me there as we talk sports and the Premier League fixture for the club of Manchester United. Oh, one is telling me that, haven't you talked about Liverpool? All right, a little bit of a snippet about Liverpool. Let's obviously have something to say about Liverpool, and it's we are gonna do the first 10 games of Liverpool, right? Liverpool's first 10 games are starting on the 17th. Liverpool is starting away at Ipswich. That is Anslot. Then Brentford at Anfield. Then they'll be hosted by Man United at Old Trafford, 31st August. Then 14th September, Liverpool will be hosting Nottingham Forest. Then 21st September, Liverpool will be hosting Bournemouth. 28th September, Wolverhampton Wanderers will be hosting Liverpool. And 5th October, Crystal Palace will be hosting Liverpool. Then Liverpool will have to host Chelsea, and their 10th game will be Arsenal hosting Liverpool at the Emirates on the 26th of October. Those are the first 10 games of Liverpool. When we go to their last 10 games, as a side of Liverpool, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They'll be playing Aston Villa, right, at Villa Park. They'll host Everton at Anfield. Fulham will host Liverpool on the 5th of October. Liverpool will host West Ham on the 12th of April. Then Leicester City will host Liverpool on the 19th of April, and Liverpool will host Tottenham Hotspur 26th April. Then Chelsea will host Liverpool at the Stamford Bridge 3rd May, and on the 10th of May, Liverpool will have to host Arsenal. Then 18th May, Liverpool will be hosted by Brighton, and lastly, Liverpool will play Crystal Palace lastly at the Anfield Stadium. Right? So that's what is going to be happening at the side of Liverpool. Right? And Liverpool will be having Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal as the two big teams, and Chelsea. You get Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur, and Arsenal in their last 10 games, meaning that Liverpool versus Arsenal might be a very huge title decider, because it's gonna be the third last game of the season for both Arsenal and Liverpool into the mix, depending on how the season will obviously go. So guys, those that have been part of this, Mokosa Sad, Senyonga, and Prince Okechuku, thank you for watching and through. That has been my preview about the fixtures of the side called Arsenal. So we are here to see to it that all goes on as to plan. I sign out for now. See you later, but your reactions are being called for into the comment section